Thank you for visiting the Winter Garden Yoga YouTube channel. My name is Brian, and I'm the founder and co-owner of Winter Garden Yoga. I've developed a system of yoga called functional yoga instruction. It's the only type of yoga out there where flexibility is not required. So, if the images you've seen on social media of pretzel poses have scared you, kept you away from yoga, you're definitely in the right place. If you want to get strong and mobile through a safe practice of yoga, our method will definitely help. We use muscles instead of gravity to do our poses, and we focus on slow, controlled movement. As a result, you get more strength, more muscle tone, more mobility, and more confidence. So, before we begin today, I want to encourage you to free your mind of any preconceived notions you've had of yoga and just turn off autopilot and be open to something new. When you're ready, grab your yoga mat and we'll get started. Awesome. Let's begin with a gentle warm-up just to loosen up the neck, shoulders, and hips. Let's take our feet just a little bit wider than shoulder width. Place your hands on your waist. Keep your legs kind of stiff, keep your torso kind of stiff, and let's make little hip circles. Just steady breathing in and out through your nose. The circles don't have to be huge. All we're trying to do is warm up the ball and socket joint of the hips. If you keep your legs stiff, then the action takes place right in the ball and socket of the hip joint. If you keep your torso stiff, same thing. Just steady breathing, easy breathing. And now we'll come back the other way. Do your best to keep your hips and your skull evened out. And by that I mean if your hips go a little bit to the side, your skull only goes a little bit to the side. If your hips come forward, your skull goes backward a little bit. Just try to make it even and smooth as possible. Just a few more rotations. Steady breathing. Good. And just more or less unwind. And if you like, toe heel your feet so that your feet are right beneath your hips. Now, for the shoulders. Bend your arms about 90 degrees and make fists. And place your fists on your waist, just like this. Now, keeping that 90-degree angle in your elbows, bring your fists just about an inch away from your hips and raise your fists. Really nice and slowly. This is called external rotation. We're externally rotating the humerus bone. When you feel stuck, try just a little harder for about 2 more seconds. Keep breathing. And now we internally rotate. You drop your fists. The same thing. At some point, you're going to feel stuck, and that's okay. Try just a little bit harder, just a tiny little bit harder for about 2 or 3 more seconds. Now we come back, external rotation, just slow and steady. We're just warming up the ball and socket joint of your shoulder, but we're also warming up the rotator cuffs. And we'll go this way. Internal rotation one more time. Keep your ribs down. Go easy. Now from this position, extend your arms. And same thing. Externally rotate. So you're turning your palms up. The pits of your elbows are also turning up. External rotate in this position. Try for about 2 seconds. Try a little harder for about 2 seconds, I should say. And then internally rotate. Your thumbs go down towards the ground. Hopefully you get a nice little stretch on the backs of your shoulders. One more time, external rotation, trying to turn the entire arm, not just the hands, the entire arm. And then one more time, internal rotation. Keep trying just for those extra 2 seconds. Back to center, just let your arms drop. Now, if it's okay with your neck, we're just going to do little half neck circles. They're really more like neck pendulums. Watch me do it a couple of times. If it's safe for your neck, go ahead and try this. If it's not safe for your neck, just skip it, and we'll catch up in a minute when we start doing the yoga. So here's what we try to do. Bring your chin towards your chest, and then roll your right ear towards your right shoulder. Roll back to chin to chest, and then left ear, left shoulder. Breathe deeply and just gently rotate in these, I call them pendulums. It just reminds me of a pendulum swinging. It's really kind of like a half circle instead of full neck circles. And again, just freeing up the neck muscles, the upper shoulder muscles. Just a real simple, gentle way to prepare the body for some yoga. It's coming up in a second. Good. The next time your chin touches your chest, look forward. If it feels like you have any residual tension, just go ahead and shake that out. And let's begin with some half sun salutations. Now I'm going to turn away from the camera so that you can kind of see what's going on sideways. Continue facing me, please. And we're going to turn towards the front of our mats. I'm in the center of my mat. You may be wherever you feel comfortable and ready to go. So we look at our feet. Make sure your feet are more or less under your hip bones. Try to joint stack is what it's called. Ankles under your knees, under your hips, under your shoulders, and try to get your ears over your shoulders. Hands to heart center in a prayer fashion. And you keep gazing forward, but I'm going to turn and look at the camera every now and then. You're trying to get taller. You're trying to lengthen. So you drop your tailbone towards the ground. That's a posterior pelvic tilt. And you're trying to lift your skull toward the ceiling without looking up. Keep your head level and just work the dichotomy, that up and down action of your spine. Breathing in and out through your nose. Exhale. Extend your arms straight out in front of you with your palms down. Internally rotate your arms, thumbs down. Open your arms wide. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Turn your palms up and then bring your arms overhead. This is called extended arms mountain pose. Hold and breathe. Still working that dichotomous action of your spine, trying to keep your ribs down. Do your best. Try not to let your ribs flare if you can help it. Sometimes we get tight in the shoulders and it's hard to keep your arms up and your ribs down, but just do your best. One more inhale. Exhale. Bring your hands through heart center in a prayer fashion. Keep breathing. Separate your hands. Touch your thighs. Bend your knees a little bit. And shift rearward. Just about halfway down. Steady breathing. Put a little weight in your heels. You want to feel it in your hamstrings, you want to feel it in your glutes in a good way, and keep your chest lifting. Hold here for 3, 2, 1. Stand straight up. Rotate your pelvis under you here. Hands to heart center. Inhale. Exhale. Extend your arms, palms down. Keep breathing. Turn your thumbs down. Internally rotate your arms. Open wide. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Turn your palms up and bring your arms up overhead for the extended arms mountain pose. Hold and breathe. Use your abs a little bit to keep your core toned. Use your arms. Steady breathing for 3. Keep getting taller. 2, 1. Exhale. Hands come through heart center in a prayer fashion. Keep breathing. Separate your hands. Touch your thighs. Bend your knees slightly and shift rearward. This is called a hip hinge. We call it the rearward shift at the studio. Try to feel it in your hamstrings, the backs of your legs, and try to keep your chest up. Don't let gravity pull you down. One more inhale. One more exhale. And stand straight up. Right back to mountain pose. Hands to heart center in a prayer fashion. Reset your posture. Get tall. Inhale. Exhale. Drop your hands. Good. Now let's take a step to the front of our mats. Get all 10 toenails more or less pointing forward. If you're going to mirror me, take your left leg and step back and wide to the left as best as you can. Something along these lines. This is called the starting position. Take your feet as wide as comfortable. I'm going to shimmy around because I can go a little bit wider. Look at the outside edges of your feet. The outside edges should more or less match the same line as the outside edge of your mat. So it may seem a little strange because most of us have tight hips and it might feel like you're pigeon-toed. As long as it's not debilitatingly painful, try your best to really get your feet to point forward because it'll help balance out the muscles in your hips. Now from this position, we're going to take your front leg, spin it 90 degrees towards the front of the mat. Do your best to make sure everything turns, your kneecap, your femur bone, your foot. The rear leg is going to turn in just a little bit, about 30 degrees. Check to make sure that your hips are level, spine is more or less straight, shoulders square. Let your front hand touch your front leg. Your rear hand comes out to a T. Inhale. Brace your torso, keep your legs toned, and push your left hips to your left. So you're pushing through your hips this way. Try to keep your ribs and your spine stiff. Try not to bend through your rib cage if you can help it. Only go so far as you feel capable. It doesn't matter if you only moved an inch. It doesn't matter if you are all the way to the floor. I very rarely go all the way to the floor. What matters is the technique. Make sure you're keeping your legs toned. There should be some tone in your abs. Your torso should be stiff. Hang in there and breathe for 3. Keep working your legs. 2, 1. Now tone up just a little more and come up to the shape of a T. Square off your hips, drop your arms. Okay, let's do that on the other side. So to the best of your ability, rotate your feet so they face the other way. 90 degrees on your left leg, 30 degrees on your right leg, if you're mirroring me. Take a second to make sure your hips are level, spine is straight, shoulders square. Let your front hand touch your front thigh, rear hand out to a T. Inhale. As you exhale, keep breathing, but keep your torso stiff and drive through that rear hip. We're trying to bend sideways through the hips instead of bending sideways through the ribs. Try to keep the bottom set of ribs more or less the same size as the upper set of ribs. It's not easy, but you're going to tone your midsection more. You're going to be stronger. You're going to be able to breathe better. So hang in there with me and keep working. Keep your legs toned. Keep your torso braced. Hang in there for 3, 2, stay firm. 1, make yourself a little more toned. Come up to the shape of a T. Drop your hands. Now this will feel good if you can. Toe heel your feet together. And that just helps give a little pressure off the hips. Let's step forward to the front of the mat. Reset your posture with mountain pose. Hands to heart center. Get long through the spine. Drop your tailbone. Put some weight in your heels. Find an inhale. Exhale, drop your hands. Good. Same leg. Let's step back and wide again. Same starting position. I believe you always want to begin from a place of stability. Make sure you're strong, legs toned, everything's ready. Then begin to build your yoga pose. In this case, it's called Warrior 2. So we'll take this leg, just like we did before, your right leg, spin it out about 90 degrees. Your left leg stays at 0 degrees. So this foot points this way, this foot points that way. Try not to turn this foot in or out. Now, bend your front leg as much or as little as you like, so long as your knee more or less stays over your ankle. So try not to drift too far forward. Try to be about a 90-degree angle if you can. It doesn't matter how deep you go. It doesn't matter how shallow you go. It just matters that your knee more or less stays over that front ankle. When you feel set, bring your hands out to a T, hold and breathe. Now as you're holding and breathing, you're still trying to rotate your pelvis under you. So you want your abs to work a little bit. Keep your legs working. Try to be as upright as possible. Try not to lean too far back or to lean too far forward. Hang in there with me for 3. Keep breathing. 2. 1. Look at your front leg. Straighten your front leg and drop your arms. Good. And let's turn the other way. 0 degrees on your right leg. 90 degrees on your left leg. Hands to your waist when you're ready. Inhale. As you exhale, keep breathing. Bend your front leg as much as you like or as little as you like. Just double check that this foot, your front foot more or less points forward and your rear foot more or less points toward me. Hands to a T when you're ready. Hold here and breathe here. It's called Warrior 2. Steady breathing. Do your best to be as upright as possible. Do your best to keep your arms out as straight as possible. Working your legs, working your abs, working your arms. Hang in there with me for 3, 2, 1. Gently straighten your leg. Drop your arms. And again, let's toe heel our feet. Just under our hips. And from this position, let's just do a postural reset with mountain pose. Hands to heart center. Check your feet and correct your feet. Get tall. Inhale. Exhale. Drop your hands. Good. Let's do a balance pose before we take it to the ground for final relaxation. Let's try squatting without squatting. If you need a chair, or if there's a medical or clinical reason, please feel free to use a wall or use a chair. Squatting without squatting. So bring your feet together nice and tight. Let your arms hang loose. Try to keep your gaze forward. Slowly shift the weight into your left leg. My right leg, your left leg. And then we bring the opposite knee up as high as possible. Excuse me. At some point your knee is going to feel like it stops moving. Keep trying to move it against that resistance. Do your best. Make sure, in this case, your right foot is relaxed. Just like your arms are loose, try to keep your right foot loose. Steady breathing. Keep trying to lift your knee. Sometimes we will kind of lift and lower, lift and lower. Do your best to constantly keep lifting. Keep lifting up, keep lifting. Hang in there with me. For 3, keep lifting. 2, 1. Slowly return to the earth. And let's switch sides. Feet together. Shift all the weight into your right leg. Arms loose. And then bring your left knee up as high as possible. Steady breathing. When your knee feels stuck, keep doing your best to lift it. And it's okay if you wobble around. Maybe you just saw I was kind of wobbling a second ago. It's called yoga practice, not yoga perfect. So just practice. This is where I'm at today. So just be where you are today. Keep your left foot loose. Keep your arms and your fingers loose. Hang in there. For 3, keep trying. 2, keep trying. 1, and slowly bring both feet to the ground. Nice save. Both arms to your side. And let's reset one more time with mountain pose. Get tall. Find an inhale. Exhale, drop your hands. Good work. Let's come down to the ground any way you can, as gracefully as possible. And let's rest for about 1 minute. Lie down as gracefully as possible. Turn your palms up toward the ceiling with your arms straight. Close your eyes. Take a deep inhale through your nose. And just relax, let the exhale pass through your nose. And now just spend the next minute getting out of the way. If it feels like you need to breathe faster, just breathe faster, it's okay. Eventually your nervous system will calm down, your breath will calm down. Try not to control your breath, just let it become soothing on its own. Do your best to release any tension or anxiety you might feel in your muscles or your mind. Just relax. Slowly bring your knees to your chest, one at a time. You can hold on onto your knees, or you can hold on under your knees. Just whatever feels comfortable. Try not to pull really tight here, just try to be kind of soft and easy. When you're ready, roll over to one side or the other. I'm rolling over to my right side, your left side. And then come on up to a seated position as gracefully as humanly possible. Thank you so much for watching our video. I'd love to know how you're feeling right now and what you thought of the practice. Please like this video and leave a comment below. I'd also love to hear from you and know about what types of videos you'd like us to produce here on the Winter Garden Yoga channel. Please be sure to subscribe, like, and share this video to help spread the good word about a safe and efficient way to get strong and mobile.